So, boys, it's 2020 and my patience is just about this thin. Now, if you're wondering why I sound like complete ass, it is because I feel like it. I've been up about 18 hours. I've got complete flu. I feel like absolutely awful, but we'll bring the video just so it's done. What's up? One flu, everyone knows the rules. January 13th, 2020. Also, I wanted to get my little water pistol out, and I did want to shoot some shots because some of the things I've been seeing in the community are absolutely barbaric. We've got people coming out of the woodwork. We've got people changing tack from one thing to another. It's about as consistent as the game itself. But we'll get on to that at the end if I'm still feeling like it. Anyway, so I'll tell you how it's feeling for January the 13th, 2020, and I'll give you, as always, the honest, factual updates for the game. Right now, that's right, right now I do not own Gears of War 5. The game is not installed. I have not played it since just before Christmas, and I have no intention of playing the game until it becomes a core fun game. There's no amount of content that's going to save the game. There's no amount of skins or anything that's going to save the game for me. I don't care about that. You can have the worst shop in the world. Everything can cost £400. But if the core game's fun, I will play it. Right now, Gears 5 is not a core fun game. I've seen Gears debates, I've seen pros, I've seen streamers, I've seen community members sat talking about content until they're blue in the face, and all of it is completely irrelevant. A game will never survive due to the quality of its shop, and it will never completely be destroyed due to the quality of its shop either. It's a sort of state of limbo. Battalion has a great shop. It's all Steamworks. But the game's dead. Why? Because the community's dead. Why is the community dead? Because it's kind of a bit like the Gears scene. It's a very good game. It's very super competitive. A load of, full-blooded alpha melee type people playing the game, trying to be competitive. Anyone that's new isn't really welcomed in. Anybody with a different opinion is shot down. And it's a very strange game, just like Gears of War is a very strange community that we can all agree on. Everybody likes Gears. Everybody hates Gears, everybody likes each other, everybody hates each other. That's just the way it is. So, as my voice is kind of clearing up there a little bit. So for this week, let's just jump into it before I go into a 25-minute rant. Hallelujah, there's finally some new content. TC have got off their ass and they've actually done something. Let's take a look at what they've done. So for me, in my position, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the game to have improved on a core level. There's no content that's going to bring me back. So let's have a look at what they've got for us. New Cantus challenges, Operation 2 bundle, matchmaking update, omen update, store. We wanted to start this out with an apology. Last Monday we had to cancel due to critical updates to the title update release schedule. We're sorry, everything's gone wrong, and we've made the call to reschedule the release to allow us to include some extra fixes that we felt were too important until they were too important to delay, so we wanted to get it in this title update. Up is the new villain, the Cantus, which is not a new villain. This has been in the game since Gears 2. So it's an old character. Hey, my voice is clearing there. I've got some clarity. It's an old character, and they're releasing it now. I'm guessing you can buy this if you've already bought the supporter pack. You're going to get it for free. If not, you're going to have to do your challenges and grind for it. Earn 60,000 XP, get 300 kills, revive 75 people, get 100 assists, and complete some escape on advanced difficulty or above. Or, as always, you can pay $20. Matchmaking on top of the back end, we've still got some improvements. Title Update 4 will introduce a new front end estimated wait time feature to Gears 5. By introducing this feature, we will provide a rough estimate of search times. We hope this will make players make better informed decisions. All this is probably going to do is exacerbate small player base issues. If somebody sees that their game mode has an 8-minute wait time and another game mode has a 4-minute wait time, they're just going to play the game mode with a 4-minute wait time. It's why I'm an advocate of lobbies and not matchmaking systems in general, because whilst you're waiting for the game to fill up, you can sit in a lobby with 3 people, then you see it tick over to 4, whereas in a matchmaking system you sat in silence until everybody's been found and located. So that's kind of what that's going to say. Well, that's actually a feature apparently. Telling you how long the search is going to take, that is actually a feature that got mentioned. Also, everybody that can't play the game and hasn't been able to play the game since launch, we've got some great news. Phase 3 of the matchmaking update, our team is heads down on this next phase of improvements. We know this is important because if you didn't already know, Phase 3 is all of the regions that can't find games. So thank you for your patience, but we're now 4 months down the line and still it's not there. Next, free-for-all. We've begun looking into your reports on free-for-all increasing in wait time. We'll be bringing it back onto the front page. We have plans in motion to better feature quick play in the menus. We're still assessing what changes we can make, so we'll keep you in tune. On top of quick play, we also have plans to bring free-for-all into our broken-ass ranked play. We've been testing the ranking system in free-for-all and have discovered some issues. There's a surprise. Resolving these issues is going to take some time, so to make sure we get this right, we're shifting the ranked FFA launch to Operation 3. We spoke about the new Omen in our last video. It's ever so slightly less piss red. And into the weekly store. Let's talk about the weekly store again. We want to apologise for the very last minute notice regarding the store being completely bland and barren. Just as barren as the amount of content in this game, and by content I mean maps, free characters and actual fun gameplay. All this is returning. Hallelujah. We have Winter Marcus, Lieutenant Faz, Skeleton Suit Caitlin, Delivery Driver Mac. So there was no content for a week, and then they just brought back old content that we've already seen before at a slightly cheaper rate, just to piss off all the people that bought it at a higher rate. Signing off, our team have been hard at work. Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, mate, but I think I've worked harder at this game than you have at this moment in time, which is quite baffling from my bedroom. I've actually seemed to have gathered a community. I started from 0 subscribers. We're almost at about 10,000 subscribers. I have about 2,000 people tuning in. I have people interested in my feedback. I've managed to get into the DMs of developers, and I've managed to have some meaningful conversations. And all while this has been going on, we've had like 2 maps, and the ranking system still doesn't work, and the shotgun doesn't work, and there was no mention of the fact that the shotgun doesn't actually work, the core game that Gears of War is known for. So excuse me for being a little bit blasé about the whole situation, because what the fucking hell was that? Let's be honest. There's no point. It's 2020. There's no point me sugarcoating it. I'm not a guy that's going to come to the YouTube channel and hype it up and get everybody excited and tweet out hashtag something. No, that was diabolical. Really, wasn't it? To say that's what everybody waited for since like the 3rd, I think it was like the 12th of December till now. Pretty damn awful. On to some Twitter drama, because that's what everybody seems to want to do in this community. I got 57 mentions last night on Twitter. How many views did it take to get on the front page of Gears 5? It took 9. So next time, everybody, instead of fishing for some shitty Twitter drama, how about you go and actually watch the game or play the game, because I believe your time is much better spent that way than actually trying to argue on Twitter. Or you can be like this guy, shout out, he wants a shout out, he wants some attention. There's your attention, buddy. You can create a second account mocking my dead relative that just passed away. Gee, I can't think why I didn't tag the bloke in the conversation. It's almost like pretty much everybody in Gears of War has a shitty community, and I didn't tag the person because I didn't want their community coming to me and being dicks. And surprise, surprise, it happened anyway. When asked, did I tag him? I said yes. I was tagging him and I stand by it. But apparently that wasn't enough. Anyway, I then tuned into the Gears of War debate hosted by Dutch Onidas. Dutch Onidas has recently been in touch with me a little bit more, and does a leopard change its spots? Who knows? But he's trying to gather some feedback of some pros, and when I tuned into it, I heard Domes talking. Yep, I'll talk about somebody because why not? And Domes was mentioning about how the fact Gears 4 was phenomenal pretty much, and content saved the day, and he'd spent $300 in Gears of War 4, and it didn't feel like it because Black Steel was amazing, and the content was so good that he didn't mind spending $300. Well, let me just say, absolutely fucking bullshit. Literally, we played Gears 1 with no skins forever. It doesn't matter how high quality the skins are, you're clearly in a position where you have a lot of expendable money. You shouldn't have to spend $300, £300 on a retail game to get some content. Having content and reasonable loot boxes in a game doesn't make the game good. The actual balance of the game does. And let's just strip it back further. The actual balance of the game doesn't even matter if it's fun. If everything's overpowered but everybody's having fun, everybody would be not having Twitter debates. I wouldn't be sat here talking like this. They'd be playing the game. So you can have the most overpowered shit, the most underpowered shit. You can have the greatest character skins, but if the core game isn't fun, it doesn't matter. I can sit here and make a very detailed sort of Gib range video, a Lancer video, and bring out the skill gap video and do another one. But the reality is, if the core game isn't fun, it doesn't matter about in small tweaks to balance. We had 3 million people play Gears of War 5. 3 million people, including Dr. Disrespect, showcasing it to his entire community and the front page of Twitch pretty much. We had Ninja play the game before the game was even released. He plays the campaign. We had Shroud play the game and they all left. Do you think they all left because the shop skins weren't good or the movement was ever so slightly off? No, they left because the community is absolutely awful. They left because the game is absolutely awful on a fundamental level, and many core features don't work, like matchmaking, like ranked, like very basics functions in the game. That's what stops people playing. There were so many people on Gears of War 1, even 3-4 years down the line, you'd bump into somebody, you'd be like, wow, he's a brand new player. You're not going to get that in 4 years' time on Gears 5. There won't be new players trickling into Gears 5 because the game isn't fun. There's no buzz around it. You're not going to go and pick up Gears 5 4 years down the line, are you? No. We had an outburst from NRG Ashes, who also was liking tweets directing sort of, I won't say hate, but sort of pot shots at me. Now NRG Ashes with my cold. Why not let's start on your video? You started your video, mate, with your head in your hands like this. A completely scripted, over-the-top video designed to get people to click it and watch. There's no problem with that, but just admit it. Please don't start the video by saying, I really didn't want to have to make this video, and it's just off the cuff. We know this because the intro is placed after the start, so you decided that this would be the most dramatic way to start the video. We also have this notion that you say that the video, oh, it's just my opinion and I don't really want people to listen to me. Of course you want people to listen to you. Everybody that makes YouTube videos wants people to listen to them. You don't sit and make a 17-minute video on developer stream response and not want anybody to listen to you. Of course you do. So just be honest and admit you want people to listen to you. At the end of the video, you said that you should be hired by TC to organise feedback. So if you don't want to be listened to and you don't think you have the right opinion or whatever you were saying at the beginning, why are you then saying that you want to also be hired? Yes, it was sort of tongue-in-cheek, but you don't really say those things if you don't really believe them. Throughout the video, he mentioned that his job was on the line, and he was upset that his job was on the line, and other esports games like League of Legends don't do this. Wrong. I've watched StarCraft, I've watched League of Legends since the games began. Patches often fuck up players. There are many players that had all-in strategies in StarCraft, and boom, it got patched out, and they're left stranded. They have to adapt quickly. There were aggressive junglers, there were tank top laners, there were slow roll ADCs, there were lane swap ADCs, there was mid lane shovers, there was mid lane wave clears, there was mid lane assassins, there was split pushers. All of these strategies can get dissipated and they're gone in the click of a finger by Riot, and you have to adapt. Your champion can get banned out. You have to adapt. Your job is always on the line, and that's the job as a pro player. You chose to be a pro coach. You chose to be a pro player. Nobody forced you into it. So yeah, it absolutely sucks that the scene is dead, mate, and it absolutely sucks that, you know, there is a massive viewership, but you can't expect a game to withhold a patch for a major tournament because of you as a pro scene. Yeah, it would be nice, but don't compare Gears 5 to League of Legends. League of Legends, you have to spend $20 million to get a slot. Just get a slot as a team. That's probably more than the Gears 5 will make, certainly this year. I don't know how much Gears 5 has made, but 10 or so teams buying slots, 200 million like that. So yeah, when the pro players go and the sponsors go to Riot and they say, listen, there might be a higher quality tournament if you don't change it right now and you pause the patch, or maybe you sit us down and fly us out and talk to us a little bit more. Yeah, they're going to do that because there's more than $200 million on the line. It's a $1 billion industry. Gears 5 is not a $1 billion industry, and it's completely, absolutely, and utterly ridiculous that you have such an ego, basically. Yeah, and I hate to say it, but it's a self-ego that you think that the Gears scene should be treated in that way. I'm sorry. Yeah, in an ideal scenario, it is, but they flew you out, they spoke to you, they tried to give feedback, and I'm guessing the feedback everybody gave wasn't so good. If I can sit here from the very beginnings of a YouTube channel where I had absolutely no viewers, and I had to get my friend to sign into YouTube and make a YouTube account to comment on it so maybe somebody else could see it, if I had to do that, and I've managed to now be in a position where I can basically pick up my phone and DM a developer and he will respond, and they do. If I can do that, then if you in your video admit that you stand next to the team and you visited them, then how can the pros not formulate some opinion and formulate some advice? Can you not gather their feedback in one constructive meeting as the pros and give it to them or something? We are a small scene. We are a very small scene. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to whip around and get everybody's opinion and write it down and sort it and hand it over to the developers. But you've got to understand and have a little bit of humbleness and understand that the scene's tiny and not everything can be handed to you on a plate. Yeah, being a pro gamer, especially Gears of War, is absolutely probably really difficult. Unbelievably difficult, right? Nobody forced you to be a pro. Yeah, the scene's tiny, but sometimes in a small scene such as Battalion, such as early scenes that are growing, because that's what we have to think about it. If Microsoft weren't churning money and throwing money at this, it would be a very tiny scene. You have to do things some by hand, and sometimes, yeah, you might have to get the pros' opinions and the pros' feedback. Now, then, if you do all that and they're not listening to it, well, that's because they don't want to listen to it, either because the feedback's bad or the developer has a different vision for the game. And sometimes I've had games that I really liked and the developer just has a vision. And sometimes your vision doesn't match with the developer's vision. And going into a stream and spamming type 1 if you want to revert the changes, and tweeting everybody get in the stream and bombard them, and ending up people getting banned from Twitch for spamming, yeah, that's not a good look. It's not a good look for you. It's not a good look for the community. It makes everything look unbelievably childish. That's what we've come up with. listen, I imagine everyone's been in talks with Gears, the developers, especially as Pro, since Gears 4. It's only now that the game's basically dead that now people are coming out and going, oh my, the game's dead, we need to do something. No, we all needed to do something before this happened. I was fighting the good cause in Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3. I started my videos on Gears 4. I said it was dead on arrival for these specific things. Nobody listened. Everybody said, hey, go away. You've been negative. You're not going to improve the scene by being negative. Now listen, I'm not saying I'm some sort of saviour. Shit, I don't know what I'd do with the game. I have a very, very different approach. I say, everybody shut the fuck up, put your hands up, and just say, TC, go and do your thing. You know why I say that? They can't create a game for everybody. They can't create a game for the fast wall bouncers. They can't create a game for the people that want to strafe and fight wall bouncers, where there's that equilibrium of you can strafe and they can wall bounce. You can't create a slow-paced tactical game and have strafers and have wall bouncers. You can't have super casuals and super esports pros all playing the same game. Something's got to give. So how about we either give actual proper feedback for once and act as a community and give good feedback with videos, examples, and have a back and forth, or let them do their thing, because at the moment we're going in circles. We want the movement faster, we spend 3 months and it gets faster. No, we want the movement slower. No, we want the omen like this. No, we want the tall like sometimes you've just got to say, listen, developer, go and do your thing, and at the end of it we'll judge if the product's good, because sometimes it might take some good steps, some back steps. They might make the movement now, they might make a Mario Kart joke, and then they might fix it. Yeah, and it is a slow process, and it does suck if your job's on the line and you're constantly getting patch after patch. But that's something that you've got to deal with as a pro. So, I don't agree with the whole, over-the-top video. Like, it just wasn't, it didn't really do it for me. So, we've got to the point now where the game's pretty dead. We've got to the point where the community are all arguing with each other and all hating each other. And we've got to the point where if I try and make a video giving some advice or giving some tips, somebody will misconstrue that as an attack. No, these are not attacks on people. These are attacks on ideas. Please note that. If you ever clip this video or you ever send it to them, please note this statement. These are not attacks on the people. They are combating and talking about their ideas. I don't believe going in Twitch chat and spamming until you get banned is a very good way to handle, feedback. I also I'm honest enough to accept I also understand that it does work. When you all spam something, they do stand up and listen. But eventually they'll just think, oh, it's those idiots in chat spamming, ban them. And then everybody gets annoyed. So, I don't know what I'd do with the game. Personally, this is what I'd do. If I had a statement for anybody watching, I would say again, I'm not attacking any people. Even though I've spoke about them, I'm speaking about their ideas and what their ideas represent. Let's just get it right. The Gears scene is small. The pro scene is small. Pro players should effectively count themselves lucky that they're even making money on this game, because it shouldn't make money because it's a terrible esports. It's terrible because as a viewer, the spectate's wrong. There's no team colours. It reminds me of early Overwatch. If there's any Overwatch fans out there that remember how bad it was, and then they gave teams their own team colours, and then they gave abilities team ability colours, and everything became more clear. People got better at spectating. Everything improved. Now it's a pretty watchable sport. Gears isn't even watchable. Even if the game was perfectly played and perfectly balanced and everybody loved it, it's a game that sucks to watch. But listen, you can't have a thriving esports with a broken game. If the online component of the game is good, if the online component of the game is played and loved, esports will naturally spawn out of that, just like it did with Gears 1. The reason people competed in Gears 1 was because they were having so much fun, they were playing it so often that they got good. And when they got good, they wanted to test themselves against other people. That's how these esports are born. Then a little company comes in and they'll say, hey, we'll manage some tournaments, we'll throw some prize pool. Now that might sound awful to you. It might sound like, wow, we're going back to the Stone Age. But that's the reality. The game is smaller now. What we need to do is together as a community build the game up to be fun on a core level. We don't want to talk about movement. I don't even want to talk about gib range. Gib range does factor into the fun, but for the most part, let's get the absolute basics down. Good solid updates, regular communication, a matchmaking system that works, and the developers now, you've got to be humble enough to accept if your ranking system is completely fucked. You've got to tell the players, listen, we tried to make this ranking system, it's fucked. We're going to take it out, and from now on, ranked will be hosted by players, and there won't be skill, there'll just be a ladder based on total points earned, average points per round or something, whatever, right? But that's what needs to happen. It needs to be built up again, and people don't want to hear it. The people are trying to run before we're walking. They're thinking that Gears 4 was getting big and then it got crushed, so we'll just go back to the way it was in Gears 4. But listen, sometimes, like, what I would say to the developers is, pick a style. If you want Gears to be slow, go and make it slow, and make everything around the game slow, and make everything function around that slowness. I don't mind if it's slow, as long as if it makes sense. I don't want a slow game with then fast wall bouncing inside it. I don't want loads of fast wall bouncing with stopping power slowing me down. Because there's this weird juxtaposing nature of Gears that just isn't good. You've got to pick a style and go with it. Let's bring it up. It was I made this in, I don't even know what year I made this in. Why didn't you run with it? Gears of War. And this is what I was saying back in the day, many years ago, was I don't care what style. 6 years ago I made this, a 2-hour podcast if you want to tune in and listen to it. I wrote about 70 pages on this thing on my old website. I wrote all about it. Active player base of League of Legends. How can we grow the player base? I wrote about the formula of a working game. I wrote about how the online changed, about how creating an online lobby and not seeing anybody made you feel lonely. 6 years ago, I asked them to make custom games with titles. 6 years later, we finally got the ability to name our own custom lobbies. It all came too late. I spoke about galforum.net. I spoke about the community getting so pissed off they were breaking the games. I mocked up some examples of what a custom lobby could look like with customizable night and rain cycles. I did all this 6 years ago. I've always tried to help the game. So when people come at me and they tell me that I'm being an idiot and I'm attacking people, I'm not. I'm trying to help the game. And what needs to happen is everyone needs to just quieten down and let them do their thing now, I think. If they want to make a slow game, let them make a really slow game. If they want to make a really fast game, let them make a really fast game. It's no good constantly changing tact from one month to the next month, because you're never going to get anywhere, and it will be in a constant state of horrible, basically awfulness. Gears of War 2 was very slow, but because everything was very slow, it sort of worked. Gears 1 was pretty fast, and everything was very fast, so it kind of worked. Gears 3, everything was on a medium level. It was kind of fast, but it still was kind of slow, so it kind of worked. Gears 4 was very fast, and it kind of worked. Gears 5 is this mismatching pace of a game, and everything feels weird. You've got a lunging fast breaker mace, you've got fast wall bouncing, you've got all these angles that you can look down with your gun and lance at people from all these crazy angles that slows you down. You've got incendiary grenades that you can throw at a wall and it kills you through a wall. You've got smokes to deny vision, which slows the game down. You've got drop shots. You've got, all these things that slow the game down and all these things that quicken the game up. So you've got massive gib range, you've got up A speed, and all this jumbledness. That's the problem. It doesn't matter what balance that you pick for the game. If the pros want it really slow, let's have it really slow. If the pros want it really fast, let's have it really fast. What needs to happen is there needs to be somebody at TC that's a leader that can stand in that boardroom or whatever the hell you do at TC and go, listen, forget the forum, forget Reddit, forget Twitter. We've got our feedback. This is what we're doing. And we're putting out videos each week. Hey guys, here's a developer blog. And do some behind the scenes videos of you working in 3D Max or freaking ZBrush or whatever gamer tools you use to create the game, and say, listen, we're working on this week. Sort of like Star Citizen do, right? Now, Star Citizen is probably never going to come out. It's probably an absolute scam. But what Star Citizen do every single week, and this is why I think I have a good sort of viewpoint at times, because a lot of Gears pros, they only play Gears. They don't experience League, StarCraft, all these other games. Every single week, they do this inside the verse, right? And they talk about sort of what's going on. And they talk about, this is what we've worked on. These are the bugs that we fixed. This is how we fixed it. And it's a diary, and you can watch this. Now, if you were watching Gears and you were seeing this, and you were seeing this level of updates, and you're like, right, so they want the game to be slow, and these are all the changes that are happening, you might absolutely hate it, but the end product might become a lot better if it's got an actual theme. But again, right now it has absolutely no theme. It's fast, it's slow, it's this, it's that. And this is, the sort of what they do. They sit down, they do a developer blog, they chat with people, they have people on the show, they have, sort of examples of, how they fixed a bug, and it gets you involved in the game. Here's an example. Hey, there was a temperamental... I've been awake like 26 hours. Temperamental turret, and this is him showing you how they fixed the turret bug with the coding. If you're interested in the coding, that's pretty interesting, right? These are the things, and this is how we fixed the turret. Hey, look, now the turret's working. Now, if we had this level of sort of production, people would be way more forgiving. But currently, it's dead silence. They then do a swinging change, and one side of the community hates what's happened, one side of the community loves it. Then there's silence, and then they either stick with it, or they don't, or they try to accommodate both sides, and then nobody's happy. So it's an entire pie. It's not the pro scenes, it's not Ashes, it's not whoever, it's nobody. And it's nobody's problem. Listen, if you ever, again, clip this, it's nobody's problem that the game is bad. One person won't save the game. I won't save the game. One person won't save the game. One person doesn't ruin the game. If I made a video right now and I said I want Gears of War to be the fastest ever and everything needs to be super speed, forget Mario, I want Crash Team Racing Nitro boosts when you hit the up A. I want neon, I want level 3 hydraulic kits on my Nasher, right? I want pace. If I brought out a video like that, that's just my opinion. That's not going to get the game changed. Even if everyone agrees with me, the developer has the final say. And what the actual problem is, and no one's alluding to, is the developers, or whoever is making that final decision, whether it's Microsoft, they're weak. They're weak. They are not sticking to their brief or their goal. Right now we're in no man's land. We're in wishy-washy city. And we don't know where we're going. We're on a boat with no destination. And the river's going one way, and we're like, hey, it's getting better. The strafe's looking good. Whoa! Now we're doing up a Mario Kart. Okay, we're removing Mario Kart. Okay, this is smooth sailing. Now we're doing this. Blah, blah, like, we don't know where we're going, and it needs a leader. That's what it feels like. I was even seeing people on the development team snap at each other, and I'm thinking, if people are getting short with each other on the development team, to me, as an outsider that knows nothing, it just sounds like everybody's pissed off. It's like when you want to just jack in and you want to go, listen, fuck it, the community's been arseholes, no one's listening, we've made our money, nobody's buying the game, why the fuck are we even doing this? That's what it feels like, and it needs somebody to go in there and say, this game can be great. Gears of War is a brilliant game and a brilliant franchise. We can lead it to greatness. That's what it needs, somebody to say that. It needs somebody to go in and say, listen, we're doing a brand new trailer. We're saying, fuck it. We're saying Gears is back to its core. Out of the black smoke comes Locust. Locusts are pouring through. They're overwhelmed. Out of nowhere, door gets kicked open. Classic style. Classic Dom shotgunning people. Then it cuts to some absolute hype as fuck scenes with some esports, and then it pans to some outlays of people streaming Gears, and it's a bit of banter. There's a bit of shit talking. Game Battles flashes up. We're now back on Game Battles. PC is now on Game Battles as well. PC people can play Game Battles. Blah blah blah. You know, blood pouring down. Marcus dripping in blood, fighting off Locust, fighting off even if it's robots, right? And it needs to be snappy. It needs to be fast, and it needs to be. Also, it needs to have an element of structure. It can't just be pinging around fast. It needs to be a good game. I don't want to see Kate with some emotional red music on a skiff. I want to see brothers in arms. I want to see war. I want to see destroyed beauty. I want to see fire. I want to see gnashers. I want to see absolute bassy lancers kicking up to the sky, people trying to control the recoil. Not this soulless modern game. The game's got no... And I said it, that was the very first video I ever made on Gears 5. It's a soulless modern game. There's nobody there in the team, to my knowledge, that's making this a Gears game. What they're trying to do is make a smooth working multiplayer game, and they might do that in 7 months' time. And in 7 months' time, they're going to have a fully working, generic modern shooter. They're not going to have a Gears game. So listen, I've gone on way too long. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. But the point is, I'm not to blame. Ashes isn't to blame. The fucking guy next door isn't to blame. She's not to blame. My dog's not to blame. The game has been slowly dying since Gears 2. Gears 3 ramped it back up, and then also, what's pretty funny, all the pros were kind of quiet in Gears 4. From my side, I didn't really see too much. All the pros were kind of quiet. Once 2.8, I think everybody liked. And I feel like that was because they were finally getting paid and Microsoft were chucking money in, that all these people thought, yeah, it doesn't really matter if the core game is still pretty miserable and pretty bad. We're finally getting paid, so we'll just shut up. That's honestly what it came across like. So I understand, yeah, you've earned no money forever and then you're finally getting paid and it feels great and the scene's growing. But then a year later, don't start with your head in your hands saying that I can't believe it's over, because we could all see where this has been going, right? So anyway, I don't even know what this video is. Just a final note. Just everyone just chill the fuck out. Everyone just chill out. I'm sick of people tweeting at me. And if I want to tweet something, I'm sick of people posting skin videos. I'm sick of people... If I want to tweet my own opinion on my own Twitter page, and I don't want to tag somebody because I don't want a drama, or I don't actually want a conversation with them, just let the person tweet their own opinion. You don't... And this isn't just me as well. When somebody puts an opinion out on Gears 5, and you search hashtag Gears 5, and some guy says, oh my god, I absolutely love how fast the new movement is. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. You can then do your own tweet and say, I absolutely hate the new movement. And then TC can have a look and they can weigh it up. You don't have to convert people. And there seems to be this notion online that when you have a debate with somebody, there has to be a winner. And people get confused because I'll call people out and I'll have debates and they think I'm that guy. No, I just like discussion. As long as if there has been a good discussion at the end of it, that's what matters. Someone like Dutch goes a little bit over the top, and sometimes, again, take the videos down on me. That's shit talking me, mate. If you're watching this, take them down. Dutch sometimes does, he pokes the bear and he says something really outrageous or something that he knows will get to you just to get a response. But I feel like he's sort of doing the same thing a little bit as well. Just wants a bit of discussion. Maybe he's bored. The game's fucking boring. Who knows? Maybe we're all a bit bored. Everyone's on Twitter getting bored. Everyone's saying I'm quitting. I've got no money. No offense, mate. I don't care if you're quitting Gears because you've got no money in the scene. I want to make a good Gears game. If the game's good, there are people out there right now that have thousands of subscribers, actual money subscribers from playing Gears. I'm pretty sure you can make it work. So when pro players tell me a sob story of how they're not getting paid, I just think to myself, well, no one's making you, mate. If it's that awful, don't play it, you know, or put hard work in to try and fix it. Don't just go on Twitter and do a meme. It's fucking pointless. This is the Gears community. I love it. I love the Gears community, and I fucking hate it. And anybody that has been in the Gears community long enough will understand that statement. We all love it. We all love each other. We all fucking hate each other. But the point is, it's got to the point now where we need to say, okay, we all have different opinions. Let's shut the fuck up. Let's all have our different opinions and let them design a game that they want to do. Let's put our opinions out. I think the new movement's good. I think the new movement's bad. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. Get all the feedback in one place and say, right, I've done my bit. I've given my feedback. Put your feet up. Carry on playing the games. Grab yourself a drink and wait 3 months. And if they're still doing nothing, say, fuck off, TC. You're not doing enough for me. I'm quitting your game. And then that's it, innit? Just give it your fair shot. Like, for me, example, I've done enough feedback. I've put my feedback out there. I don't really need to carry on drilling the point home. I might make a Gib range video because that's something no one seems to be speaking about. But after that, I've put my feedback out there. They sort of know what game I want. I can't do any more. So you put your feedback out there in the best way you can do possible. And then put your feet up and say, right, I did my bit. If everybody did their bit, if everybody laid one brick, you'd build the fucking Great Wall of China, mate, pretty quickly. But one person can't build the Great Wall of China because he's going to get tired, he's going to get sick of it, he's going to snap, you know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I've been awake since yesterday. I'm absolutely ill as fuck. I've powered through it. I'm uploading this video and I have no idea what this video was. So, there we go.